Hey everyone. Today we're going to jump into something that, let's be honest, you can't afford to ignore anymore: the language of artificial intelligence. We're going to break down a really fantastic guide from Dr. Vernette Grant that shows how just knowing the right terms can give you a massive, massive advantage in your career. So, Dr. Grant kicks things off with this really powerful question: are you an AI observer or an AI leader? And it might seem simple, right? But your answer, that really gets to the core of why we're talking about this. It's all about making that shift from just hearing about AI to actually using it. So, okay, why does learning a few terms even matter? Well, everyone's talking about AI, that's for sure. But there's a huge difference between someone who just kind of follows the trends and someone who really knows how to leverage this stuff for growth. It's about getting past the buzzwords. And this, right here, this lays it out perfectly. An observer, they talk about AI. But a leader, they understand it. An observer hears all the buzzwords flying around, while a leader knows the specific terms. It's literally the difference between watching the game from the sidelines and getting on the field to change the outcome. That's the advantage we're talking about. So how do you become that leader? Well, you start by learning the language. Let's break down 3 fundamental terms that Dr. Grant says are the absolute building blocks. Think of it this way: if AI is a master chef, then the algorithm is the recipe. Machine learning is how that chef tastes the dish and makes it better over time without anyone telling them how. And natural language processing, that's how the chef understands what you ordered in plain, simple English. First up, we've got the algorithm. This is that core recipe. At its heart, it's really just a set of instructions, a step-by-step guide that a computer follows to get something done. That's it. And you see this in action absolutely everywhere. I mean, every AI tool you use, from that little customer service chatbot on a website to the engine that suggests your next song on Spotify, it's all powered by these algorithmic recipes. They are the logic doing all the heavy lifting behind the curtain. Okay, next up we have machine learning. And this is where our chef gets really smart. So instead of just following the same old recipe forever, machine learning models are designed to learn straight from data. They find patterns, they make predictions, and they actually get better and better over time, all by themselves. And the perfect example of this, which Dr. Grant points out, is Netflix. You know when it recommends a new show because you just binged something similar? That is machine learning in action. The system learned what you like from your watch history, and now it's making a really good guess about what you'll want to watch next. And our third essential term is natural language processing, or NLP for short. This is how our chef understands what we're asking for. It's the tech that bridges the gap between how we talk and how computers, well, compute. It's all about teaching machines to understand and even use our language. And you probably use NLP all the time without even realizing it. Anytime you ask Siri about the weather or tell Alexa to play your favorite song, you're using it. NLP is what lets those devices figure out what your words actually mean and give you a response that makes sense. It's a huge part of how we use tech today. Okay, so we've got the core concepts down. The lingo is making sense, but knowing the vocabulary is only half the battle, right? Now let's look at the real-world tools, the platforms where all this technology actually gets put to work. So here's a quick look at some of the major players. You've got OpenAI's ChatGPT, which is a total powerhouse for creating content, and it leans heavily on NLP. Then there's Google's Vertex AI, where companies can go to build and launch their own custom machine learning models. And of course, Microsoft's Azure AI, which offers stuff like speech recognition, another direct use of NLP that you can plug right into other apps. All right, so we've got the terms, we've got the tools, but how do all these pieces actually fit together? Let's walk through a simple, really practical example from Dr. Grant's guide to see how you'd actually build something with this knowledge. Okay, imagine you want to build a simple chatbot for your website. Step 1, you'd need to understand NLP, right? So the bot can figure out what your customers are actually asking. Step 2, you'd pick a platform, maybe something like Azure AI that already has models built to get you started. And step 3, you'd feed it your own customer data, so the bot learns and gets smarter over time. See that? The concepts we talked about directly become the steps for how you do it. And this brings us to what I think is the most important takeaway from all of this. It's so easy to feel like AI is this huge, intimidating thing that's only for coders and data scientists, but we gotta clear that up. Because this is the real deal. Understanding these core ideas and tools isn't about becoming a programmer overnight. It's not about that at all. It's about becoming fluent enough to see the opportunities, to ask the right questions, and to lead the conversation about how this technology can actually be used in your work. It's just like Dr. Grant says, knowledge is your superpower. The more you understand these terms and how they actually work in real tools, the more valuable you become. This fluency is what really separates the observers from the leaders. So, I'll leave you with this question to chew on. Now that you have these building blocks, what could you create or improve or change? What will you build with your new power? The possibilities, they're pretty much endless, and it all starts with just understanding the language. Thanks for listening.